Hey everyone, this is Bobo from the Mario server. I'm here to do a video on hotkeys. Now I think this is probably the one video that is very useful to all the newbies out there because hotkeys can be kind of annoying in Mabinogi. There are a lot of things to remember and there are a lot of skills to hotkey. So I'm going to show you briefly on how many skills we have in Mabinogi. You can see there's like tons and tons and tons and tons and tons, tons of skills. So each skill is going to be a pain to hotkey in a way. So let's start off with the very beginning. For Mabinogi there are there are two. I'm going to say two. There are two hotkey bars. There's one up here, which is the F1 through the F12, and the 1 through the equal sign. It's like literally 1 through 0, and then like the dashes equal sign here. And then there is the hotkeys, side hotkeys. Yeah, there are side hotkeys. So you can see that from here you can have up to 4 by 8. That's a lot. You can have this many hotkeys as a sidebar. Now, some people probably are like, how do you get this hotkey as on the sidebar? Because it actually does not show up by default. In order to get these hotkeys, go to Options. Let's see, I think it was Game, was it? Etc. There you go. You go to Options, Game tab, etc. And then you'll see a check right here that says Show Extra Skill Slot 1. Show extra skill slot 2, and these are basically the 2 extra skill slots. Also, there is a really important thing that they have here checked is lock extra skill slot. Do keep in mind that this is very important because if I check this one, that means I can if I check it, uncheck it. I'm sorry, if I uncheck it, I can move these around. I can move these over here if I wanted to. I can move this over here if I wanted to, and I can move over there and over there, and then like sometimes when you're playing Mabby, you're gonna accidentally move them. Either that, or you're gonna accidentally click on them. Let's see, I think it was yeah, right click. You're gonna right click on them, and then what that does, it removes the hotkey from the list. Now that's not what I wanted to do. Gotta put it back. And now if you want to put a pet hotkey on this one, just click on T to your pet list and then just drag it over and be like, yep, put it right there. And just clicking on that, left clicking on that, oops, can't summon one of my homestead, will allow you to summon. There's not really a hotkey for these to like press within your actual keyboard. But it's easy to like click on versus like having this skill window open. Some people, and I dread seeing this on some Mabinogi players, some people actually keep the skill list open and play Mabinogi by like pressing like the smash on this list and then like running and attacking that. You don't do that. That is too much work because keeping even this window open is going to lag you. So always, as much as possible, hotkey your stuff. So I dread that whole lock thingy because if you don't want to accidentally left click on your little list thingy, be sure to go to your options, etc. Click on lock extra skill slot, and then if I ever see I'm left clicking on this thing, it's not gonna come out. If I accidentally left click on these things, it's not gonna remove my hotkey. It's locked. It's locked in place. Nothing can touch it. So that is one thing about the skill set, extra skill slots that people don't know about. Now the upper skill slots are already preset with binded to your keyboard, so you can actually use your keyboard to use those hotkeys. Up here it's the F1 through the F12, so if you're pressing F1, I'm going to press F1, I can't press F1 because that's the wrong skill. Okay, if I press F2, there you go, I can load up my Judgment Blade as setted. So that is one thing to keep in mind, that the upper bar right here is F1 through 12. The lower bar right here is 1 through the equal sign. So you can literally fight pressing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. Some people have a little, what do you call it? Why am I stuck like this? Some people have buttons on their mouse. Mine actually has that, and that works perfectly too. If you have like something like a Razer Naga, and then it has like a 1 through 0 whatever buttons on your mouse, you can press it like I'm doing right now, and it works just fine. Now there's also more hotkeys up here if you ever need to switch to it. According to the settings right here, it says left, shift, and tab. So if you want to switch, left, shift, and tab. I don't think it works for me, but let me see. Yeah, it doesn't work for me because I have like Steam or something set up here. Am I pressing left shift? I am. Yeah, left shift tab is gonna like mess up with me because I have Steam. But basically, if it works for you guys, you can automatically switch to another skill slot up here from 1 through 12. So that is one thing to keep in mind, is that if you ever wanted more hotkeys up here, you can always switch over 1 through 12. On the lower 1 through equal sign, I think you can have up to, let's see, 8? Yes, up to 8 different settings here. Now, how do you switch between these settings? It is literally control 1 through 8. So control 1 will get to your first hotkey. Control 2 will get to your next. Control 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on will get to your next hotkey slot. So this is how people switch between different sets of skills. This is just how I set my skills. So I set my skills to alchemy on my first tab because that's like my main priority, and then so on I switch over to like different tabs, so different types of skill sets. And just because like for example, my music bard one, where is it? There it is. I also throw in a few other things like melee because I don't only fight with music. So that is one thing you can play around with your hotkeys. This is how you can switch between different skill sets if you decide to go like play different stuff, instead of having to click on the skill list and then like opening this and then clicking on it manually. That's kind of a pain, but you can if you wanted to. Just know that these are actually not set in stone. You can always change it. You can always change your hotkeys to something else. It's not always gonna have to be set like this. So in order to do that, you go to game settings in your options, and then go to hotkeys, and then boom, all the hotkeys are set right here. You can literally change almost pretty much everything. So I'm really gonna have to like go through all these like hotkeys because some of these are, oops, why did I close it? Some of these are really important for people to know. Let me just move this over here. There you go. There is an actual hotkey setting that lets you move WASD or style. Some people don't like it, some people do. Because Mabinogi originally started out with a regular point and click kind of control and click kind of combat style, which is very unique in my opinion. And then slowly they integrated the WASD option if you want that too, but you can play both. So I can literally just go like control and click, control, or I don't even need to control. I can click there, click here, click over there. This is how I move. Or I can press WASD and move like with the 4 keys. So that is one thing you could do. You can set up if you wanted to. It doesn't even have to be WASD. You can set these to your arrow keys if you want to. Pressing C opens your control, character info, and I'm not really gonna go down the list of all of them because I'm pretty sure you guys can't do that. But I am gonna go through a few ones that are really, really important. One hotkey to keep in to always know is the tab one. If it's set to tab for you guys, for me it's set to tab right here. Is change weapon set. Your character can hold up to. Whoops. There you go. Your character can hold 2 auxiliary tabs right here. The first one, first weapon set, and then there's the aux. Close that. Oops. No, keep that open. I'm trying to close that other window. Too many windows. There you go. Okay, there's the first hand and then there's a second hand. Oops, there's a second hand. So instead of having to click on it manually, you can always just press tab, 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 switch. That is one thing to always keep in mind in Mabi. Another important one is the hotkeys for drinking certain potions and using certain things in combat. That is very, very important. H is already set as a default to consume an HP potion. For those that don't know how that works in your inventory, basically the let's say, where's my potions? It's a bad example because I don't have any potions on me. Okay, well, I'll just use this one. So basically how consuming items through hotkeys work is that if you press H, the item that is on the bottom right of your inventory is going to be the one that consumes. So if I had, let's say, so for example, for all these stamina pots I have here, if I press K, which is the hotkey for stamina consumption, I am going to use this one right here. I'm not going to use the higher one, I'm going to use this one right here. It's basically just going to consume the one that's at the furthest lower right of your inventory. So please do keep that in mind. Same goes with everything else, not just potions. Let's see. So then H is for healing for HP, J is for MP potions, and K is for stamina. Control K is for eating food. I don't know why that's even a thing, but you know, maybe some people have to eat food in the midst of combat. You know, just it's there. A really important one is Control J, which is using a Phoenix Feather. If I use Control J right now, you'll see that pressing Control J will automatically use my feather or set it, so I can quickly resurrect another player nearby. It works the same thing as in terms of the lower right corner, so do keep in mind that if you have things like party Phoenix Feathers or even advanced feathers, if this one is going to be on the lower right and I press Control J, it's going to think I want to use the party feather instead of the regular feather. So I guess kind of align your items in a way where you want to use them. So that is one thing to keep in mind. And then there is Control H, which I also think is very useful to remember, is consuming a wound remedy pot. Control H is literally like, H is healing HP, so Control H is like a wound remedy, so it's easy to remember. Then you have G, which is antidote potion. Nobody really uses that. Then you got Alt H, set for marionette potions. I don't really use marionette potions too often because it's something like for puppetries. But if you do use marionette potions and you're a puppeteer, then Control H will help heal MP potions. Then you have Alt J, which is marionette repair kits, which is literally for using that little repair kit to resurrect your puppet. There you go. And that's easy to remember because, you know, Control J is a Phoenix Feather, Alt J, marionette. And let's see. R is also a really important one to know, is that if you're running around in combat and you need to mount onto your pet that can actually be mountable, R is an important one to know because that is going to automatically mount you onto your pet. So for example, R, there you go, instant mount, like that. Let's see, I'm not going to go through all of these because some of these are kind of like, yeah. But here you can see right here, as I was mentioning, the whole control 1 in terms of changing the quick slot. You can actually change that. If you don't want to keep it at control 1 through 8, you can actually change it. And then there's also the pet summon. Some people like to set their pets to the number keys or certain letters, but I actually like to use my numpad. And the numpad is literally the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 buttons on the right, very, very far right side of your keyboard. and I just literally just set it right here. You can see it says num all the way to 9. I think it's already preset like that. I could be wrong. I don't remember. But that is also one thing to keep in mind. Another thing to keep in mind is that I believe the partners are also preset to like the numpad as well. So, but it's control and then the numpad. So if I were to summon a partner, control 1, there's my partner, control 1 summon already. I also set my hotkeys to desummon quickly at numpad 0, and then my pet inventory to the numpad dot. That's the right word for it. You can also set your pets to do other things, but I don't really care for these things, so they're like not set right here. And that is basically like hotkeys in a nutshell. If you guys ever want to change your hotkeys, you can always come here and change it. Now I'll show you guys quickly how to change it, because sometimes it's kind of confusing how to change it. Now if I want to change my summon pet to like numpad something else, let's say I accidentally choose, I'm like, okay, I'm going to choose it to a different hotkey. But let's say that hotkey is already taken. It'll actually tell you. So I'm going to choose numpad 2 for this one. And then on the bottom, it'll say previous command is already set at summon second pet. So if I were to put numpad 2 here, it's going to overwrite it. So I'm going to play, fine, sure, apply. And then it says, the hotkey settings that has been saved will be deleted. Proceed. Okay. And then voila, there it goes. It's been changed. But now the summon pet 2 is gone because like literally I just took it away. So I want to put it back. Put apply. Good. That's fine because it wasn't taken. Put 2 back. Apply. And that's done. And that's literally how you can change your hotkeys. It's pretty flexible for all different types of players to mess around with. So be sure to take a look at that. Once again, it's in your options right here. Options. Game. Hotkeys. And that's pretty much it. There's also, I think, a hotkey to like remove your hoodie too, so that's like pretty neat. Another hotkey that I like very much is Control P and Control P and Control N. There you go. Control P. Let's say I gotta open a party actually to do this. I'm gonna go make a party. Wrong party, not squad. Oops, form party. Okay. So Control P, what that will do, if I press Control P right now, it hides all parties that are open. So you can see, like for me on my screen, the party is closed, but to other people, they can still see the party. So Control P again, it's still there. It's not closed yet, it's still there. So that is if you want to like hide all the little like what do you call it? Those little party messages. This also includes things like shops and stuff like that. So if you're going to the shop channel and then you see a bunch of shops with a bunch of names and all that stuff, and then you don't want to see all that, you can actually press Control P and hide all that stuff. Just hide it all. Control N will hide names. So let's say I do want to see the party stuff, but I don't want to see everyone's names and everyone's titles and all that stuff. Control N will hide all that stuff. You can see my character now is hiding its names. So that's one thing to keep in mind, is that if you don't want to see anyone's names, just press Control N. I'm gonna quit this party. Another thing you can do also is if you're trying to take a nice, very decently nice looking screenshot. I believe the interface is to hide the interface. Let's see. Nope, wrong one. There you go. It's, what is this? What is this called? Backslash? That, oh, it's not even showing up right. The W. It's the opposite of that hotkey I just pressed. I mean the key thing that I just pressed. So if you press that, that'll literally hide all of your interface, and then you can have a nice looking screenshot right here. Another thing that you can that is pretty nice is hiding activating mini effects. And what that does is that it makes everybody like into literally just look the same wearing a robe, and they'll have like no face. And sometimes people will see that and be like, I actually don't want that. How do you turn that off? You can go to your options, and you can see in your game options. Where is it? I think it was performance. There you go. Performance. Wait, why you don't click? Okay. Performance. There is a options right here. You could turn it on or off. But a quicker way to turn it on and off is the opposite slash that I did on. Does it work on the numpad? No, it's actually on the numpad side. It's kind of hard to say. It could be different for you guys because I don't know if I changed it. But basically, that slash on the numpad side will turn on and off the mini effects or minimizations of other characters. You can see that it's like activating and turning off right now. And what that does is that it'll minify what the heck? Minimize? Okay, whatever. It's going to make everybody not show their outfits. It's going to make them look simple. So that way you won't lag as much in the game. You can also set it so that it only will do that for everyone else and not your party. So I think there was an option here, right here. It says right here, does not minimize party members. So you can set it so that if you're in a party with your friends and you want to see your friends but you don't want to see anyone else outside of your party, you can set it to that. And that way everyone else will look like blah, and then you and your friends will look like awesome. So that is one thing to keep in mind. Alright, so those are pretty much the general hotkeys I like to use in Mabinogi. I didn't go through all of them because there's so many. But if you guys have any other suggestions or questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. If I missed out on anything or if I said anything wrong, again, please feel free to correct me. We're all helping each other out here. And like always, please stay awesome.